Welcome into Warriors Today on Chat Sports. Coming up on today's show, did the Golden State Warriors decline a Lonzo Ball for Kelly Oubre swap? We're going to dig into that. Also, is Steve Kerr on the hot seat? One former player and current NBA analyst seems to think so. And as the Warriors struggle, is Golden State on the verge of possibly missing the playoffs? All of that coming up next. You're watching Golden State Warriors Today. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Let's kick it off with the latest news and rumors around the Warriors, and we start with a familiar face, a guy who's been in trade discussions for weeks now, and that is Kelly Oubre Jr. According to Andrew Bogut, a former Warrior who won a championship with Golden State back in 2015, former first overall pick, he has a podcast now, and he said on that podcast that he was hearing that the New Orleans Pelicans offered Lonzo Ball and a draft pick for Kelly Oubre Jr., but Bob Myers and the Warriors decided to turn that deal down. Here's the thing to look at. Oubre is going to be an unrestricted free agent after this year, so he's going to be able to hit the open market. Lonzo Ball, on the other hand, is going to be a restricted free agent, so there would be some type of club control if Golden State elected to trade for Lonzo Ball. This is a deal that did not happen, but one that is kind of fascinating to look at because, in my opinion, it would have been an upgrade for Golden State if they would have traded for Lonzo Ball because I'm really high on him, and I see that his stock is really soaring right now, especially this year. Only 23 years old. He's really starting to improve. So, what do you think about that trade, and who would have won it if it was pulled off? Kelly Oubre for Lonzo Ball and a draft pick. If you think it's the Warriors, type W. If you think it's the New Orleans Pelicans, type P. Now, I want to take a look at both of these players because they're different, still young, but starting to really find their groove in the NBA, especially when you look at Lonzo Ball. And this year, Ball is really having a breakout season, whereas Kelly Oubre's breakout season happened a year ago. Yeah, they're similar in points per game, but I tend to look at the field goal percentage and the three-point percentage and the overall development of the player. Kelly Oubre bringing down more rebounds than Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball dishing out more dimes. But his three-point percentage, when I'm talking about Ball, has gotten better and better every single year. And a lot of people like to look at his form, they look at his past, and they say, Lonzo Ball, historically not a great three-point shooter. Lonzo Ball has been a very good three-point shooter this year, and I think that is important to note. So you see the side-by-side. I want you to pick a player now. Who are you going to choose if you're running a squad, if you're Bob Myers? If it's Lonzo Ball, get into the comments and type L. If you think it's Kelly Oubre, type K. This is an interactive YouTube channel, so we love hearing all of your feedback. For me, as I mentioned, the aforementioned Ball, I'm a big fan of his because of the development that he's taken and the strides that he's made so far in his career. I don't think he's ever going to live up to the hype of being the number 2 overall pick a couple of years ago, but it's important to look at his age, his development, and how far he's come. And here's a scouting profile I put together on Lonzo. I think he sees the floor really well. That was the case dating back to his high school and UCLA days. He's always had really good court vision. Okay, he's also a very great passer, whether it be on the go in transition or in the half court. He's got a special eye looking for his teammates through the passing game. And as I mentioned, his three-point shot is really getting going this year, shooting 39% from beyond the arc. And I love how Lonzo has positional versatility. Yeah, a lot of people peg him as a point guard, but if you haven't been watching Pelicans games this year, you probably don't know that he's been playing a lot of 2 and 3 because Stan Van Gundy has been experimenting with playing Zion Williamson at point guard as the primary ball handler. What did Lonzo do when he came back from injury the other night against the Hawks? This is an example of his potential. I don't think he's going to be a 25-plus game point guy, but I do think that Lonzo Ball's offensive game will continue to evolve. And he lit it up against the Atlanta Hawks. 27 points, 9 dimes, 3 steals, and he made 8 three-point shots from beyond the arc. So my man is really getting better and better as time goes on, shooting from the outside. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Newsbreak. So you tune in to Warriors Today because you want all of your Warriors news. Well, given the neighborhood that you live in, don't you want to stay up to date with the latest news, politics, sports, weather, pop culture happenings? You can do that and have it all on a single feed thanks to our friends at Newsbreak. So if you go to chatsports.com/WarriorsNB and download the Newsbreak app, you will be able to get all of the happenings in terms of news, politics, weather, all of that stuff on one single feed. And it's all easy. It's all free. So once again, go to chatsports.com/WarriorsNB. And while you're there, give us a follow at Warriors Today on Chat Sports. The Golden State Warriors are really struggling right now. 3-7 in their last 10 games. On Friday night, they suffered an abysmal defeat, losing by 53 to the Toronto Raptors. And this has been an ongoing trend for Golden State really over the last 2+ months. Since February 28th, the Warriors have suffered 6 losses by 20 or more points. This is a far cry from the team that was competing for NBA championships every single year, and there are a lot of reasons for the Warriors' struggles. But the Warriors' downfall, these blowout losses, prompted Kendrick Perkins, former NBA player, current NBA analyst, to tweet this on Friday night after that dump truck of a loss to the Raptors. He said, quote, "I'm starting to question Steve Kerr's coaching because when his superstars don't play, the team struggles to compete, let alone win a game. In my honest opinion, carry on." So Kendrick Perkins put a lot of the blame on Steve Kerr. I want to divide this up into 2 categories: defending Steve Kerr and why he should be blamed, and maybe why his seat might be getting a little warm, according to Kendrick Perkins. Injuries have rocked this organization for the last couple of years. They couldn't plan or foresee anything that happened in the NBA Finals a couple years ago when Kevin Durant popped his Achilles, when Klay Thompson tore his ACL. Coaching without stars isn't easy. What would Phil Jackson look like without Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and Scottie Pippen, or without Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal? What would Greg Popovich look like if he didn't have his big 3 of Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan? So it's really difficult to coach when you don't have stars. I also think this organization is really missing Klay Thompson a lot. Not just on the floor, where he's one of the best 3-point shooters of all time, but also one of the best defenders in the league. But as a culture fit as well, they miss Klay Thompson's personality. And also Draymond Green's game over the last couple of years, it's gone downhill. The argument against Steve Kerr and why he should have his seat hot are these reasons. The blowouts that you're seeing right now over the last few weeks, not acceptable. I don't care if Steph Curry and Draymond Green aren't in the game like they weren't against the Raptors. Losing by 53, it's not acceptable. Also, while the personnel has changed around the Warriors and their roster has changed, Steve Kerr really hasn't adjusted or changed his system, and I think that's why you've seen this offense be stagnant and inconsistent at times. And you can also make the argument that the Warriors have failed to develop players. This year, James Wiseman, he's been pretty up and down, and him and Steve Kerr at times have butted heads. So what do you think about what Kendrick Perkins said? Do you think Steve Kerr's seat should be getting warm? Interesting conversation. I'm going to go with no, but if you think that his seat should be getting warm, you can type Y for yes. We talk about the Golden State Warriors' struggles. They're starting to fall fast in the Western Conference playoff standings. They're not in the picture in the 1 through 5 seeds, and they are just holding on to a playoff berth or opportunity, sitting at 10th place in the Western Conference right now at 23-27. So this is a team that is really struggling, and if they continue to play like they've been playing over the last month or two, I think it's a realistic possibility that Golden State could miss out on the playoffs this year because they've been an inconsistent bunch. They don't have a good second unit. When Steph Curry is out of the lineup, they look like a G League squad, and something is just missing from this team right now. So you've watched this Warriors team play over the last couple of weeks. Are the Warriors in danger of missing the playoffs? If you think they're in danger, type D. If you think, no worries, they're fine, you can type F for fine. So if you made it this far on this show for Warriors Today, appreciate you watching and rocking with us. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that big red button down below. This is a channel that is growing really, really quickly. We're up to 15,200 subscribers, so join the family. We're pushing out videos covering all of the latest news and rumors, and 3 to 4 times a week, if you subscribe to the channel, you can count on us providing you coverage. And once again, before we head out, I'm somewhat new here at Chat Sports. This is my 5th week, so if you haven't already done so, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I've had a lot of people hop in my DMs with questions about the Warriors, questions about the NBA, some possible trades, so hit me up, and I look forward to hearing from you.